So I'm sure you guys have heard about the far right dude that got elected in Argentina yesterday. Um, Quite the deal. He's something, that's for sure. So Javier Milei, he's a self-proclaimed anarcho-capitalist, basically one of them Bitcoin anarchists. I don't know. It's kind of an oxymoron, and he's also a libertarian. He ran on a platform of wanting to basically minimize the government as much as possible. He doesn't believe in climate change. He doesn't believe it's man-made. Big portion of his platform is he is questioning what is an indigenous person and do they have rights. The whole point is to not give them their rights or justice. He's against climate justice and all sorts of things. Everything you would expect from a Trump type of guy. They called him the Argentinian Trump. The kicker here is, and we're talking about the State Department, and when it comes to authoritarian right wing governments in Latin America, that's who they tend to support. So the statement from the Department of State reads as follows: The United States congratulates Argentine President elect Javier Milei in his victory in today's election, and we applaud the robust democratic process through which the Argentine public has spoken. The strong turnout and peaceful conduct of the vote are a testament to Argentina's electoral and democratic institutions. We look forward to working with President elect Milei and his government on shared priorities that benefit people of both countries, including protecting human rights and democracy, addressing climate change, and investing in the middle class. None of the things he ran on as for president. Why he won, though, is somewhat understandable because they were dealing with as much as 140% inflation, and his opponent was the economics minister, and of course he's taking all the heat for the inflation. So when it's a situation like that and times are tough, people are going to want to shift to one extreme to the other. We saw it after Barack Obama went to Donald Trump. These kind of things happen. The problem with the State Department statement is that, as I said, Milei has made the argument against climate justice. He believes climate change isn't man-made, and part of his platform is built on the intent to remove Argentina from the Paris Climate Agreement. President-elect Milei and his backers have also expressed support for expanding mining and agriculture over concerns about deforestation. Further, his party and his supporters also question who is indigenous in an effort to deny Native people specific rights. Here's another kicker. Following his victory, Milei told the local radio station that he plans to visit the United States and Israel before his inauguration, signaling cooperation with Western corporate powers. I wrote this article, by the way. According to CNN, he declared his trip to the U.S. will have spiritual connection since he is aiming to visit his rabbi friends. Milei also added that he intends to visit the controversial Organization of the American States while in the United States. The Organization of American States, which is supposed to be pro-democracy, is controversial for many reasons because they often back authoritarian, far-right dictatorships in Latin America. When it comes to the U.S. and the Department of State, we saw it under Obama, we saw it under Trump, we saw it, Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State. Anytime there's a leftist government, they go after them, they sanction them. Look at Venezuela, right? If they nationalize any resources, they want to sanction them. Mexico's nationalized quite a few resources, and Republicans are talking about invading Mexico, but while that's unlikely to happen, sanctions against Mexico are not unheard of. Supposedly, the United States took away an $800 million loan from Mexico because Mexico is donating oil and fuel to Cuba, which if Mexico would have sold that to Cuba, they would have been sanctioned heavily. But since donating them isn't part of the embargo on Cuba, they went ahead and did it. Now, when you ask AMLO, Manuel Lopez Obrador, the president of Mexico, he says no such loan was ever in play, and that's just all U.S. propaganda. Take that for what you will. I tend to believe AMLO on this one because Department of State propaganda is always is always just off the chain and always leaves out a lot of context, and it's always meant to try to sway public opinion to convince the U.S. voters and the U.S. population that invading a country or overthrowing a government or anything like that is in our best interest. It never is in our best interest. It never is in the best interest of the people of that country. It only benefits corporations who don't want to pay market value for resources such as lithium, cobalt, gold, oil, things like that. They want their resources there. They want all, natural resources in every country privatized so that they can put Chevron over there to extract them all. And, the corporate people here in the U.S. and in the West and in Israel get rich while the people in those countries suffer. So not out of the ordinary for the United States to support someone like Milei in Argentina. And they weren't very supportive of what they referred to socialist government that was there before. But in Argentina, expect some big changes, Trump type of changes, and expect U.S. corporate interests to start getting heavily involved in investing in the country over there, for profit. So something to keep an eye on. It's kind of like when Bolsonaro took over in Brazil. Things got pretty shady. I expect that's what's about to happen in Argentina.